Hello there, and welcome to another Midweek Memo. I've just been reading the story of the storm that stopped. It's so great as Christians that we have loads of fantastic stories in the Bible, all about the amazing things that God has done for his people throughout history. But it's even more amazing that God is still working in people today. You and I all have amazing stories about what God has been doing in our lives too, whether or not it's easy for us to put it into words. On Sunday, we heard from Paul about how God's faithfulness through provision and how interactions with others in our church helped him through a difficult time. If you've missed it, here's some of that testimony again.
Well, John and Claire came round for lunch and we was just talking about depression a little bit. And then the way I cope with it is being around people and quite busy and just thinking of the Lord, really. The Lord's in it, and that's how I sort of cope with it. But you go up and down with emotions, and it's not a bad thing. But you find a coping mechanism. If people are struggling, it's better to talk to someone, a professional, and then don't feel bad about it either, because it's good to get it out and talk about it. Well, talk to a counsellor, GP, and then talk to people in the church, because there's people in the church that can help you or guide you in the way forward. I've seen the faithfulness in my flat. I had help through the church, friends and that. I was targeted where I lived before, so I had to move out. And then for a whole year I was doing that, and God found this flat, and it's all down to the Lord. And another thing is that when friends want to help you, you have to let them help you.
We love hearing testimonies of the things that God is up to in the lives of our church family. Everyone has a story to tell, whether it's a big and dramatic one or a humble story of an upbringing in the church. We really want to capture more of these stories, especially over the Christmas period this year. If you have a testimony about how God has been at work in your life that you would like to share with our church family, contact myself or Natasha Bird. Speaking of stories, you might notice something new in the foyer at church. Joe Lines has set up a bookstall with loads of great books for all ages. Books like this, The Storm That Stopped, which I've been enjoying. If you want to purchase a book, there's a QR code to scan, or you can pop some cash in an envelope and put it in the post box by the church office next to the bookstall. If you're after even more family-friendly fun, for all ages, we've got Steve Price, a Christian magician, joining us on November the 18th. The link to get tickets is with this video. It's going to be a really fun night as Steve does some magic and tells us about the gospel and about how God is at work in his life too. Lastly, Spinnaker Croydon, led by Emily Speed, are hosting an afternoon tea fundraiser in the Watney Room on the 11th of November at 3:30 p.m. Spinnaker do amazing work in our community, going into primary schools to run RE lessons, assemblies, and clubs to help children in Croydon learn about who Jesus is. If you would like to join them for the fundraiser, the link is also with this video. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's Midweek Memo. I hope you have a great week.